Right. And I have to say, we were a little demoralized yesterday, and I'm hoping that Jessica Milan Patterson can make us feel better. She is helping out with this Stop 50 effort. She is the chairwoman there. You can give her a follow at Milan Patterson, former chairwoman of the GOP here in California. And Jessica, thanks so much for being with us. Welcome back to The Morning Answer.
Hey, always great to be back with you, and great job last night in CNN, Jen.
Great job to you the night before, Jessica. I sat in your chair, and I felt very honored. You did a great job. I was watching, and your guy was nobody. Oh, gosh. I can't. Some of these Democrats,
we do to have to get the message out.
It's so crazy.
The belly of the beast at CNN.
That's right. And it's great that Alex is doing a show there and allowing conservative voices on. So that's a really good switch and something great for us. But no, you did a great job. And I want to be so optimistic about Prop 50. But we got this message from Gavin Newsom yesterday. And I know he is trolling us, but he's also trying to demoralize conservatives. And take a listen I'm sure you've heard it. It's been ingrained in your memory, but we will play it for you, Jessica, so that you can take a listen to it.
You can't even make this up. 1.2 million contributions. We've raised $38 million together. Enough. Thank you. I never thought I'd ever say that. We've raised enough money to win this campaign. Doesn't mean we've won the campaign, quite the contrary, but we reached our goals. We reached our budget. And I just want to thank you for reaching in your pocket. I know what $5, $10 means. A lot of people, it means everything. And the fact that you stepped up from all 50 states to get us in this position to win the campaign is extraordinary. So please don't send any more money to the Yes on 50 campaign, but don't think for a second we can run the 90-yard dash. This election is not over, so let's do everything in our power to focus on getting out the vote. But you stepped up and you stepped in. Mad respect to all of you. Thank you.
He makes me nauseous.
Jessica, he is dancing in the end zone. More than that, though, you know what he's doing. He's specifically trolling you, me, and Jen. You understand that, right? This is a total troll. And I'm just sick to my stomach that he's waving the victory flag. We haven't even had the election yet. And you know what? 100%. I actually think we've lost. I mean, I don't think we have a chance at winning. I'm sorry to say it.
Well, I'm here to tell you, we've been following, one of the things that's a great problem to have, right? To not need money. It's not one that I've ever run into. And this is something that we go through every single election cycle. You guys know this. You watch the races. We are outspent regardless of what the race is. Legislative, congressional, or statewide ballot initiatives. We are always outspent. And often it is a 2-to-1, a 3-to-1. And despite that, and no disrespect to Dave in Long Beach, we have been able to win some very critical races in our state, not just to help us in California, like statewide ballot initiatives like Prop 36, which, remind you, Gavin Newsom was opposed to, but also congressional seats that helped us win this new House majority. And that is why they have come after these seats. So we can still win. And when you have less money, you have to be incredibly intentional with the way that you spend that money. And so we are very targeted. We do a lot in the digital space where we are going directly to individual voters that we know are persuadable, that are no party preference, that are Democrats, that believe California is on the wrong track. We could never win these races with Republican votes alone. And that is why we have always had to appeal to the masses, but in a very targeted way about what California Democrats are doing. And so watching those ballots come in, this is a very, very close race. Our job is still to turn out our voters and persuade those last bit of undecideds that have not made a decision yet, or that know that this is the wrong thing to do and just need permission to vote no on this. And that's what we're doing over these last few days.
Take us through some of the early returns. I was out with Carl DeMaio in a couple of places. I was in Santa Clarita, Pasadena. He's getting great turnout. And, of course, the voter ID initiative he's working on for next year is huge, too. There are a lot of people who understand Prop 50, but then there are a lot of people who are being played on their emotions of just hating Trump. And so they're showing up and voting. But I was kind of disheartened. As of last Friday, I heard that 18% of Republicans had turned in their ballot. Has that number gone up? And I've also heard that they aren't counting independents. So there is a possibility that that breaks in our favor. Where are we today just on what you're guessing from early returns, Jessica?
Yeah, so once we saw early voting open up this weekend, we did start to see that gap tighten significantly. And we will continue to see that over the next few days. Our people like to vote late, and they like to vote in person. So now that vote centers are open, you are going to see that. We're going to continue to make sure they turn out. And Carl DeMaio has done a great job throughout our state turning out conservative voters and getting the message out. So we're going to see all of those fruits come to bear as well.
All right, Jessica. So, I can be critical of the California GOP. And so
she's like, oh, yeah, I get you.
She knows. I know. But, I think the world, and I do like it.
It comes from a place of love.
It does. It comes from a place of love and wanting to win. So I heard this commercial, and it was the complete opposite of what I recommended to you the other week. I know mine was a little over the top with stretching the truth. But I heard this commercial, and I'm like, really? Play it, Dan.
Prop 50 gives Newsom the power to rig the elections in California. Vote no on Prop 50.
You just sent every left-leaning independent to go vote yes on Prop 50.
To be clear, that was not my commercial. I have been following your lead on this. I have been telling everybody that Prop 50 is a right-wing conspiracy.
I love you.
Okay.
But in all seriousness,
thank you. Okay.
So
what are they thinking?
That is a commercial that is directed, and I'm sure very targeted, to conservative voters. And that does turn out conservative voters. They hate Gavin Newsom. And that is their reason for voting.
The problem is if you play that on a top 50 music station, that's not going to work.
Agreed. And that's why we at the No on Prop 50 campaign have been incredibly targeted with our messaging. And when we are talking to no party preference voters, when we are talking to Democrats that believe that we are on the wrong track, that is not the message that they are getting from us. And we are very direct and we're very intentional on that.
So strategy-wise, you and I always give you credit for this because, I'm one of those, I hate to say because I'm so young, I'm just kidding, but I'm one of those old school conservatives that likes to turn out on Election Day. But you, my friend, changed my mind years ago when we were talking about how we need to take advantage of the mail-in ballots because then the resources aren't spent on trying to turn out people who are absolutely going to vote. And it seems that is a very slow message for conservatives to hear. 2 days ago on this program, Jessica, we took, 20, 25 phone callers. I said, call and tell us if you voted. And if you haven't, why are you planning to? And I would say 80% of people had already voted, but there are still that 20% that say they want to go and they want to vote in person and they want to vote on Election Day. Now, that's great if they show up. But there is a risk to all of that, as you know. Plus, we have to spend resources to get them to go. How frustrating is that for you? And part two of my question from a strategy perspective is you have a lot of groups working all together on Prop 50, which can be great if everybody's walking to the same beat. But as you mentioned, that's not your commercial. That's from another group. That can be frustrating when everybody's got different messaging.
Yeah. So, and I think that's what you'll see with a broad-based coalition. And so we're taking help from wherever we can get it. And do we like to have the lead? Do we think that we know what we're supposed to be doing? Absolutely. But the help that we're getting from all of these different organizations, all of these different individuals, to me, that's something that's exciting. When you see people that don't necessarily agree on everything, Governor Schwarzenegger is probably a perfect example of that. But he is out there talking about how wrong this proposition is. Now, when we talk about early voting, this is something that's critical. If we want to be successful, I've always likened it to a football game. You cannot let the other team run up the score on you for 3 quarters and you show up for that last quarter. You have to be playing the entire game. And if we allow the Democrats to run up the score on us in early votes in the entire month that leads up to the election, because we don't have an election day, we have an election month, it is so much more difficult. The narrative alone depresses our turnout. When they are talking about how Democrats are turning out in mass numbers and Republicans are not hitting their goals yet, that is going to be something that suppresses our turnout because people believe that we can't win. So we not only that, but we have, anything can happen on Election Day. I was evacuated from my house one year, the day before an election. So anything can happen. You don't want something to stop you from voting. It is so easy to vote. You get your ballot a month before. There's one question on it. You don't even need a postage stamp. You can walk it in. You can take it to the mailbox, whatever is easiest for you or you feel most comfortable for. But getting that vote in early is so incredibly critical. It also allows us to move on to other universes of people, those lower propensity voters that aren't always turning out, that maybe don't turn out when President Trump is not on the ballot. It allows us to go and use those resources, turning them out instead of turning you out.
I love it, and it's good advice. If we want to start winning elections, we need to start playing by their rules. That's when we start to win. And if we don't like the rules, we got to win elections to change them. So, Jessica, I am excited to see what happens on Tuesday. You've given me a little bit of hope in my heart again after Gavin Newsom tried to step on it. Are the Dodgers going to win tomorrow night? Which is the most important question I could ask you.
We have no choice. Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. The last two games been a little brutal, but we're going to get there. All right, Jessica Milan Patterson, chairwoman of the Stop 50 campaign, and of course, former chairwoman of the California GOP. Give her a follow at Milan Patterson, and we will talk to you again next week. Jessica, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks for having me.